The system I'm about to show you takes me 1 hour to build, and I've sold it for $4,500 multiple times. It's not fancy. It's not really that complicated. In fact, it's that easy. I'm going to build it with you step by step and show you exactly why businesses will pay thousands for it. This system that I'm about to show you is probably the fastest way to actually land an AI automation client. It solves multiple problems. It saves hours of time and it generates thousands upon thousands of revenue. So the first one we're going to be building it on is make.com. Okay. Now, what did I say? So we're going to be scraping the leads, verifying the emails. So scraping the leads, that's step one. Where are we going to do that from? I'm going to choose a tool called Appify. If you haven't heard of it, it's literally just a platform for web scraping. So if I go to my console, Apollo scraper, and this is it. But you can also go into the store and you can literally type Apollo, because that's where we're going to be getting the leads from. You can also do LinkedIn Sales Navigator scraper. I think it costs about $39 a month. To be honest, you're probably best off doing it with Phantom Buster, who you can get their own extension. I think they've upgraded it. I don't know, they've got a latest release. I don't know if they've upgraded it or what they've done, if you need to download a new one. But here you have to use cookies, which isn't the best. So anyway, we're going to use Apollo because it's cheap, easy. I like it. I like it a lot. So you're going to go on Apollo, and there's plenty here. But as you can see, 24,000 people use this one. Give it a decent rating. I mean, this one's got a good rating, but less people use it. And this is sort of what I look for. I definitely look for the stars. This wouldn't be a good one. This wouldn't be a good one. This probably isn't the best one, although 26,000 people do use it. So it might be all right. I probably would use it, or at least test it. But today we're going to be using the Apollo scraper, scrape up to 50,000 leads. Now, the problem you get with this type of scraper is that it struggles, especially if you're scraping via an API call. It doesn't actually get the settings fully correct. So I think you have to create a task. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. Create a task. I'm going to call it YouTube and press continue. And this is my task called YouTube. Now, here's where you put a search URL that you've done on Apollo. You can get a number of records. You can choose if you want the work or personal emails. I'm just going to get the work emails. You can set no timeout and no limit. And this is the issue I was talking about, is sometimes it times out if you actually run the task via an API. So there's a couple of ways you can do this. You could actually do it completely autonomously by setting up run a task. And you could run the task every month, maybe every 30 days, and it will scrape a new. Actually, no, probably not like that. You'd want to probably just input it anyway. So we'll go into my connection. YouTube was the one. Show advanced settings. You can put input JSON overrides. So actually, if we see what this looks like, that's what you'd copy and paste in. But we actually haven't put a search URL in. So we're going to go into Apollo. You can just have a free account. You can sign up for free. Go into people, and you'll just do a search. It looks like I've already got one here. So we might as well just use that. Or in fact, I'll just do one with you. So let's get rid of this. Is there a way I can just do a new search? No, I don't know. So let's say I wanted to reach out to a specific, well, first of all, location is what I always like to do. So I am based in the United Kingdom. So I will search for people within the United Kingdom. 12 mil, good for me. Copy. No, I'm joking. Don't do that. There's too many. You'd have to have about 1 million inboxes to do that. You probably wouldn't. I don't know. Then we're going to do maybe job titles. No, to be fair, you'd probably want to look for the industry. So industry, let's think. I've done marketing before. It's done really well. I got a lot of clients from the marketing one. You could do financial services, you could do software development, you could do IT companies. Probably shouldn't do IT companies. Maybe we'll do recruitment. I mean, there's a 100% chance that they've already been contacted by someone with this type of system, but there's a very small chance that the system's as good as this. So I'm going to do recruitment because I used to work in recruitment. I know a little bit about it. I say I worked in recruitment. I did it for about 3 months and then got fired. Did I get fired? Yeah, I did get fired. Anyway, that's a different story. Job title, I want to reach out to the main men. So I'm going to do founder and CEO. I'm going to get director in there as well. Director. Do you know what? It's just too many. Normally, I do quite a few, but this is 4.2k. I'm happy with that. Let's just do that. Right, next job. I'm just going to check some leads because I'm getting replies through. Just bear with me a minute, please. Thank you. Cool. I checked my leads. They all said fuck off, so let's carry on. I'm joking. Employees, you could choose the amount of employees. To be honest, this type of system is good for small to medium-sized businesses. They're people who are looking for more leads and more business to really scale. So that is certainly an option. You can see with the free plan, I can't really choose anything like revenue, technologies, funding could be quite interesting as well. Do you know what? That'll do. So what I'm going to do after doing that search, what did that take me? 2 minutes minus the rambling. Put it in there, and total number of records required we won't put in. Anyway, if you did want to do this automatically, you just put it in, take that, and then you've got the JSON that you would do. So for example, if I was to sell this to a client, we'd obviously want a front facing application. Remember one I've said before, you're selling an application here. So really we'd do a webhook here, create an application where they'd input the search URL that they want to do. They'd do the search, they'd input the search URL into the application, and it would dynamically map from the webhook into here. So they'd press start automation, the webhook would run, it would collect the data. The URL that they input into the app would then get dynamically mapped into here, and it would then, that's where it becomes autonomous. But let's leave it as it is for now. If any of you newbies are watching, I know I've got a couple hundred subscribers in the last few days out of you 200. If you've seen anyone else talking about an app, it was fucking my idea. Oh, I need to drop that. I'm probably sounding like a broken record. But there we go. If I was to press run, that would run the automation. Again, we don't need to do this. We could just literally set up a webhook we could do it all in Appify, but let's just do it here. Let's run the task. To do that though, we'd need to then set up a new scenario that would have a webhook which would collect the data. So let's save that, duplicate it, come out of it, create a new one, Appify, watch task run, and we'll create a webhook. So do that, and basically inside Appify, that has created a webhook now, and we'll put the task as YouTube, save, and now that's all set up, and that's going to listen for when the run has finished and all the data is going to get sent to there. But the thing is, now the data will get sent there, but this webhook doesn't actually show the data. It shows the dataset ID, and you're gonna have to take the dataset ID that it gives you, pass it into another one to get the actual items. Okay. It's going to ask for the dataset ID, which even without running it, somehow we've got the dataset ID there. We're going to want it in JSON. Just for this, I'll do a limit of 100. To be fair, in here, I'd also like to do a limit of 100. So let's see what the JSON would look like for that. To be fair, I think 500 is what you can do. So does that change at all? I only need 500. Let's have a look. JSON. Yeah, total records 500. Don't want to spend all my money on you guys, you know what I mean? Total records 500, save. And you know what? Let's run it. Run. Oh, do you know what? I should have actually built it in N8N as well and put the webhook and sent data to both. That would have been a fantastic idea. Let's see if we can do it really quickly. Create workflow, add first step, webhook, post, test, YouTube, integrations, add integration, HTTP, webhook. When the run is succeeded, this is when the data will get sent. There's the URL. Make sure this is just listening. Test, test, test. It's listening, it's listening. Go, 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 go. Save and test. Bash. Right, we get it. Let's just test it again. So it sends the webhook the data afterwards. Cool. So that's listening. Save. Let's come out of it so we can watch it happen. And this is listening too. So that's great stuff. So that means that this is running. It's 200 results in, and essentially when it's finished, data is going to get sent to here and also to here. We've actually got this set up so it does get the data set items. The good thing about make.com is that everything's sort of integrated. That module is integrated. With this, you're going to have to look at the Appify API documentation, which I'll do with you, so you know and you're fully aligned on what you've got to do, just to see what HTTP call we're going to have to use to actually get that data, right? So it's on 400. Hang on. Get it call. Hello? Yes, this is Beinn. Yeah, that would cost about 5 billion. Yeah. All right. I'll send the proposal over. Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Glad you're going with it. Cool. Sweet. Someone just wants automation. That's all that was. Sorry about that. Right. Cool. 477 are done. So that's just sent to the webhook. So it's sent to this one, happy days, and it's sent to this one, happy days. Look at that. So we've got it in make and N8N. Obviously, you wouldn't do both, just in case anyone was unclear. The only reason I'm doing both is so I can build it alongside, so you know what you're doing. So this has got the data set items, which is great, but this has only got, this is just the webhook setup. It hasn't got, you can see what it outputs here. You know, it hasn't got any of any of the data, but it has got our default data set ID, which is what we're going to need. So without further ado, let's have a look at the API here. Let's go to API endpoints, get dataset. Is that here? Get last run dataset items. Is that it? I don't know. Let's go on the API reference. Let's go down here. It's definitely something. Get dataset, get items. This is what it is. So it gives you the URL. So you copy that, go into here, HTTP. It's a GET request, so that is correct. Paste the URL, and you see where it says ... dataset ID. That, in between those two brackets, is where you want to pass over the default dataset ID. Yeah, that's good. That's exactly where I wanted it to go. So that's good stuff. Default. There we go. That's better. Then we can delete this. Cool. So you can see this is the result. That's the data set, bish, bash, bosh. So let's test it. And here you go. You got all the data that we need. So we're both at the same step now, okay? In both scenarios, let's just call them workflow scenario, whatever you want to call it, we're at the same step. We've got the 477 items, even though this says one automation, one operation. You tell I haven't been on Make in a while. It's got 100 bundles, yeah? That is because I put the limit as 100, whereas in here, it's got all of them. I should have just put it as the same in the other one, but it doesn't really matter. So now we've got our leads. What the fuck do we do with them? Okay, so within make.com, some of you might know that it has a timeout function. It's about 45 minutes. So in this case of me doing 500 leads, that would not be a problem. I could probably process 500 leads and get them added into instantly. within that time frame. But say, what was the search originally? 4.2k. I'd doubt that would actually, after researching, getting the email, researching and everything, I don't know if that would actually do it within the time frame. It might do for 4,000. It might do, to be fair, because with make.com, you can process things sequentially. If you look in here and you press yes or no, I can't actually remember which one is which. If you enable this option and the scenario will be paused, this option also guarantees that all incomplete executions will also be solved in the order that they occurred. Okay, so I think you'd have it as no. Anyway, what we want it all to sort of happen at the same time. Don't want it one by one. Like the thing with NA10, it'll do it one by one. If there's a setting, let me know that you can do it all at the same time and have it done a lot quicker. That would be great. But with make.com, you can do it. It all happens at the same time. Do you know what? I'll show you what to do. If you had a really big data set and you were worried that it wouldn't actually complete within the amount of time, what you would do is a HTTP request. You'd do make a request. You'd create a webhook in another scenario. You'd copy the address of that webhook. Let's see if you can do it in here. It'll be like this. So you copy the address. You'd put that in here. So all data is going to get sent to that webhook. You put it as a post. You put it as a content type application JSON, and you just put the request content that you want adding in. So for example, it would be like first name, and you'd map in first name from there. Oh, I'm doing it very much like, what's it called? NA10. And so on and so forth. Every bit of data, because you're not going to want everything here, are you? For example, you're not going to want intent strength or, I don't know, like this. You're not going to want them. You're not going to want probably the headline because you've already got the title. You're not going to want the URL of their photos unless you're a weirdo, etc., etc. So you're going to go last name. Boom, boom. And everything that you want adding in is what you'll do. So for example, last name would be last name, and that would send the data one by one, but really quickly. It would be like one by one to the next, to another scenario, which has a webhook, which won't time out because the data from here is sending it one by one. That means that it won't time out because it's taking them one by one. It will do one lead, process it through, find the email, research, write, add to instantly, okay? And then it will do the next lead. So there's no timing out unless it takes 45 minutes for one lead to get processed, which it doesn't do. So I'm not going to show you that, but all you do is do exactly what I'm doing here, have a webhook, and then from the webhook, you'd add on exactly what I'm going to do right here, which is, first of all, it's going to be the email verifier. Now, you've got a few options. You've got never bounce, which is literally, it's integrated as well. So you can just get your API key, press add, put your API key in, and press create connection. And then you'd literally just put the email in, which I think is at the bottom. No, it's not. Where is the email? Boom. And that's it. That's all you'd have to do in make.com. How quick and easy is that? But never bounce is a little bit more expensive than Instantlease. And I like Instantlease because Instantlease send out millions of emails a day. So you'd think that they pretty much know what they're talking about when it comes to, lost my train of thought, when it comes to sending emails out. And then here's Instantlease, right? So let's say we wanted 10,000 credits. 10,000 costs you $50 here. And instantly 10,000 costs you one time $35. So you're saving $14.11, which is decent. I'm sure the more you do, let's say 500,000. Oh, wow. 100,000 credits costs you $290. 100,000 credits costs you $400. So you're saving $110 there. Again, just a fair amount of money. So there's actually a big difference between these two. So that's why I tend to go with the instantly verifier. Now, one thing, I don't know how many I got before. Was it this? I don't have too many left. Anyway, what was I doing? So we're actually going to have to go on Instantly's API doc, and we're going to have to find out what the email verifier endpoint is. So create an email verification. Again, you can do it pretty quickly. You'll just copy that over here. You can see it's a post request as well. So let's delete that. If you want easy use and you're not asked about cost, just go with many bounce. But I'm going to show you exactly how to do it for jab instantly. It's a post request, as we saw. You're going to have to authorize it, which I believe is they use the bearer. Be nice if that would go capital, yeah? Cheers. Authorization, yeah, bearer, your token, content type, application JSON. Now, a good thing again about make is that you don't actually have to type it out, because as you can see, content type, application JSON, you don't need to type it out as a header. It comes as a header here. And essentially what we're going to do is put in the email, happy days. So the request content is going to be email. So I'm just gonna put my email in, just to show you before I put my API key in, and you all fucking copy me. In fact, what I'll do, I'll just create an API key right here, right now, and then delete it. So can you all please remind me to delete it? That'd be very kind of you. No, this is how I do it, isn't it? Delete. All, because if you just can't be bothered to, this is for security reasons, but if you can't be bothered to just choose it, you can just pick all. There's my API key. Make sure everyone screenshots it right now when you use it. Just use all my credits. That'd be great. Thank you. And we're going to go bearer API key, Beinn.your at centrix.ai. Click save, and let's see if it runs nicely. And it does. It's verified. There's my email. I've got one less credit. So if you could all just chip in and just pay for another credit for me, that'd be great. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Rename. Rename. Instantly. Nah, just do email verifier. Save. And there we go. So we're getting our leads. We're now verifying the emails. To be fair, not all emails exist. So let's actually do something here, and let's go email. Ignore this, by the way, email verified. It's not accurate at all. If you think you're going to save money by just using verified emails from Apollo, you're wasting, you're going to get marked as spam. And let me tell you for why. You're going to get marked as spam. You're going to have high bounce rates. You always want to be cleaning your lists, no matter what. Do you know what my bounce rate is? It's 0%. Email exists. And so if email exists, it will carry on. So if email exists, it will carry on. So we're not just putting, we're not putting null through and wasting credits and operations in this case. So I'm actually, in fact, Instantly do have their own thing, but I do think it's V1, not V2. Does it show you anywhere if it's V1 or V2? No. Okay, but it doesn't have the email verifier in there. It'd be good if Make could, upgrade it to the V2, because there's actually two versions of the API, and Instantly have made it a lot better recently. A lot more endpoints that you can use. Right, so we verified the email. Let's do the same in NA10. Sorry if this is boring you. Trying to make it as fun as possible. Right. Again, it's a post. I'm literally just going to have to copy and paste it all in, aren't we? Here. It's a post request. This is the URL. We're going to send some headers. bearer, API key. Does this have it? Content type, JSON. I don't know if that works, you know. Let's have a look. I don't know if I'm going to have to add another header and call it content type application JSON, but we'll soon see. Let's use JSON and let's now copy and paste this in. One thing we're obviously going to have to do quickly though is just change that, now that we know it's working, to the email. So now it's going to dynamically map the email in every time it runs, right? Let's go into here, let's paste it in, take rid of that, and let's dynamically map the email in. Why does it do this to me? Email. And let's test it. Let's see that it works. If it doesn't work, it doesn't. Apparently, I'm going to have to execute the whole. Why would I have to do that? Okay, so instead, let's do this. Put my name back in it. Then .you're at. You always want to be testing as you go, as you go in with it, right? You always want to be testing, making sure that it works. Tester. NA10's crap. Existing data set is too large, apparently. Yeah, solid. Alright, Doc, alright. Let's that's Stokey if you all just wondered what the heck I just did. That's how people where I'm from speak. Instead of saying all right, they say alright. And duck means like, mate, alright, duck. What am I on about? Cool. So we've got a email verifier in there. Now, what we're actually going to want to do is let's now research the prospect. So again, in here, really handy, we've got a module which is native to fucking make, which is really cool. So what we're going to do, let's give it a roll. So let's literally just give it a user role. One prompt in here, I reckon. And we're going to say, if you just bear with me, let me just copy what I've done before. That'd be really kind of you, instead of having to come up with a new prompt, because you want to know what works. I'm not just going to make one on the top of my head, right? Cool. So this is what I put in. The first name and last name, title, company name, industry, and company location. Imagine you're actually on Perplexity and you just wanted to know something. You could just research someone's name. Imagine it's like Google. You just put someone's name in, right? But to give it all the information that it needs, we'll give it the first name and last name. First name, last name. We'll give it the title of the person. We'll give it the company that he or she works in, which is organization name. The industry that he or she, the industry that the thing he works in, which actually I'm not going to give it. And then the company location, just so it knows the exact company, because you never know, there could be more than one company within the same city, country, wherever, you know? So let's just give it the country. We could give it the raw address, which would be pretty cool as well. It wouldn't be cool at all, actually, at all, would it? Wouldn't be cool. Country, and let's also give it city. Using the above info, please get me an extremely brief overview of the company, as well as any recent news or achievements, any pain points, and the lead's role and background. And to be honest, I might even put in industry challenges. Cool. And that will essentially now research a prospect. So if I was to give it Beinn, press OK. What is going on, my voice? And you can see here the overview of of me. It's pretty big actually, to be fair. You might want to whistle it down, use a max amount of tokens. How many tokens was that? Because you don't want to be spending loads of money, especially if you're doing loads of leads, yeah? You don't want to do that. So let's do 400. But one thing I've just remembered is obviously we only want it to carry on if the email is valid, verified. Email verified. So if the verification status, which is here, equals verified, which you can see is the same, then it will carry on and it will research the prospect. Now, what we're going to want to do, and you know what? Apollo isn't incredible at getting the industry correct. So I can't remember. Let's just get the dataset ID again. If I just save this, come out, go into here. Let me just get the dataset ID, which is that. Back. Run dataset ID. Run. Does it come with an industry? So it doesn't have the industry, but can I just give you guys a bit of advice for if you're building this out for customers, clients, prospects, your NAN? Basically, when you're giving them the application, you want to make sure there's an industry check in there. And I'll actually show you what that looks like. You want to make sure that you've got an industry check in there. So they input the industry that they're wanting to reach out to. The reason being is Apollo isn't always great at getting the industry right, and you don't want their campaigns going wrong by people saying, what the heck, I'm not in this industry, I'm in a different industry. So make sure you get that right. And what you'll essentially do is add a step in here, OpenAI step, whatever you want to do, just to check that the industry is correct. But I suppose in this case, we'll go on now to creating the prompt to make the personalization. So I'm going to use Claude 3.5 Haiku. The reason being is because it scores really high in personalization. Sod it, can't find it, we'll leave it. But I saw somewhere that it was anyway, and it performs really well for me. And it's about half the price of OpenAI. So again, you're going to save some money there. Let's add a message in. So we're going to do a user. Any system messages? I think it's actually down here. Look, yeah. You are we've got to do everything in. Let's get perplexity set up in here. Sorry. I don't think it has a. Nope. So it's going to be another HTTP. It will be a post. Let's go to Perplexity's API. Perplexity PyDocs. Let's have a look, see what it's got. Not what is the API. I know what the API is. Home. API reference. Here is the header. The URL. I am sorry. You go post, there's the URL, you're going to send some headers, and it's going to be authorization bearer, we're going to do the content type, and it's going to be the data here as well as the body. So we're going to send body using JSON, and we're going to just paste it in there. We're going to be using Sonar, which is good. I don't think we're going to need to give it that, so we're just going to give it this. The user and the user message is, can I execute the previous node? Probably not. What I'm going to do then is literally the same as before. I'm going to unlink this. I'm going to add a manual trigger, connect it up. I'm going to get the dataset ID from somewhere. Anyone remember the ID? Was this the ID? Or was that the ID of the lead? Okay, go back into here. Sorry if this is taking long. The default dataset ID, which is this. Copy it, put it in here, just so I can run it. Let's just run it to here first. Oh my god, it's going to verify a load of leads. Right, anyway. Perplexity, post, send the body in. Oh man. Can I do... How do I only do one? There'll be a way. There'll be a way. There'll be a way. There'll be a way. Get dataset items. Limit. Do you reckon it's just going to be called limit? Let's go into here. Let's see if we can do it like this. Limit will be in there somewhere. Yes, I think we can put a query parameter as limit. Cool. Here, we're going to go limit, and we're going to go 10. And that should be great. That should work. Let's have a look. 10 items. Bish, bash, bosh. Cool. We'll verify them. And this failed because obviously I haven't got a anything in it, but that's absolutely fine. So you're going to do authorization, bearer, space, because I think that's what it said, wasn't it? Yeah, bearer. And you're going to get your token. So where you get your token from, I'm not 100% sure. In fact, maybe I am. You go into here and you go into API keys and you'll grab it from there. Obviously, I'm not going to show you. Put out that so you can't see my API. And then what we're going to do is literally copy and paste from before. But what was it? It was, okay, so this is all we're getting from the email verifier, dataset ID. To be honest, you probably want to use a set nodes just before this, I reckon. So that's what I'm going to do. Set nodes, set this. So we're going to do get dataset ID, get dataset. What we wanting in here, I can't remember. So it was the name, title, the organization, the country, and the city. So yeah, name. Don't want first name and last name. That's how we're going to do it. Sod it. First name. Nah, do you know what? We're going to do name. So that's their full name. Guy Dalton Griffin. We're going to do title. Okay, the next one is the company, country, and city. So let's go down. This is all the organization stuff. So it's here. No, it's not. It's here. So we've got the company name. Let's just change it to company name. What else have we got? We have the title, which is at the top. We've already done title, you fucking idiot. Country and city. So there you go. Country and city. Happy days. Cool. So we've got that in. We'll just test it real quick. Oh, really? Yeah, cool. Okay. And we'll go into here and we'll put in from the edit fields the name, the title, title at, company name in London, United Kingdom. And then we're going to do using, let's just copy and paste. I don't know if it has to be JSON. I don't know if it has to be JSON, but I'm going to do it as it. fuck it, you know what? No, I'm not. Let's see what happens. See if it works. Nah, it needs to be valid JSON. Cool. Oh, also, look where I'm putting this. Jesus. Maybe that had something to do with it. I don't know. Anyway, let's copy this and let's stick it in there. And then let's delete this. Cool. So now this should work, and we've got the exact same step as the make.com one. The reason I put the set, the edit fields in there is purely because I'm really NA10 basically sometimes can't decide where it's going to get the data from. Whether it needed it probably didn't, to be honest, but also it just cleans things up for me. It makes things a lot easier. I could literally just go into here, go into the edit fields, and I've got everything there already to just dynamically map in. So this we're going to call research prospect. Right, and now we're at the same stage in both of these, okay? Cool. So next step is the anthropic module. Now I'll do the prompt in NA10 to start with, and then I'll do it in here to show you as well, because NA10 is actually a bit easier. So this is going to be just a basic LLM chain. Okay. The model we're going to be using is Anthropic 3.5. And we're also going to want to pass the thingamajiggy. Pass the output, which we're going to use a structured output parser. Cool. Now it's time for the prompt. This is running out, so keeps flashing red at me. So if anyone wants to, right, so unfortunately my camera died. So whilst it was turned off and actually charging back up, it's giving me a bit of time to actually write the prompt. So I suppose you don't have to. So at the top is a user message. So this is what's going to get dynamically put into the AI model for it to actually create a really compelling email. So the company name is the company name, the lead's name is name, the lead's title is title, and the company research comes from choices, message, content. So we'll put that in there. And this is everything it's going to get. They're going to get the pain points, the industry challenges, the lead's role and its background. No recent news or achievements apparently, but it's got everything else when they incorporated, the type of business, the location, etc., etc. So pretty cool. And that's enough information, I'd say, for AI to write a decent email. So here you go. You're writing a cold email to a decision maker in a specific industry. Generate only 2 parts of the initial email and then a follow-up email too. So the initial email will include an icebreaker, which also has a value piece in there, but also a follow-up as well. A postscript block, which includes the personalized PS and also an opt-out, because when you're sending cold emailing, you want to obviously include some sort of opt-out because no one's asked for your email, no one wants your email. So at least do the polite thing and say, look, if you don't want me to follow up, that's absolutely fine. Just let me know and I won't. The follow-up also needs to be hyper-personalized, but also includes a postscript block, but this time it's a bit of a jokey one. I'll show you what that looks like. Now, I asked ChatGPT what my tone was. I did a lot of this with ChatGPT. I just changed bits around, and my tone's warm and professional, slightly cheeky or casual where appropriate, curious, observant, and very consultative, human, not overly excited or overly polished. Every email should feel like it's coming from someone who genuinely looked them up and is speaking to them like a real person. No hype, no filler, no flake flattery. I've given examples in the user and AI prompts. Follow that tone of voice. Then I go on to say about what I want in the personalization block. No question marks. End the block by explaining the value, what your system does and who it helps. Don't overcomplicate it. Just keep it simple. Then I give an example. So, hey Laura, such a cool background as a CNN producer to now using AI to detect threats. I really want to hear more about both. Anyway, I'm working with AI-driven teams to kickstart 20 to 30 high-value convos per month using AI. Now, really important that you're not lazy here, guys, if I'm honest. You're doing AI automation, so you have some level of laziness because you want AI and computers to do it for you, which I get, I'm the same. But in this sense, you want to do some sort of research yourself. So you want to go back to the past node here. You got 10. You want to copy and paste the content, put it into GPT, ask what sort of the best things are, ask for its input in a personalization, give it obviously the prompt that I'm giving you now. And then you can use ChatGPT, but also your human brain to generate a reply that sounds human. Okay. And this is what I've done all the way down here. I've given it a load of examples. If you want it to really come across not cheesy, not cringy, you want it to sound human, the more examples of you actually giving a reply, the more it will sound like you. It's as simple as that. So this doesn't actually matter as much. What really does matter is the examples that you give it. And there's a little hack for you guys. More examples, the better. And if you're not happy, add an example. If you're not happy, add an example and keep going until you're happy. I think I've got 13. Not a really, not a pretty attractive number, but on the 13th one, I was finally happy with it. Where are we now? I don't even know where we are. Hold on, I've just got 2 leads in the space of a minute, so bear with me. But the important thing is that every email should feel like it's coming from someone who genuinely looked them up and is speaking to them like a real person. I've definitely gone all over that already. I've done all of this. So we talk about the personalization block. If you want to just sort of pause it and read it, so you can copy and paste it, that's absolutely fine. You got the postscript, which is just a short, relevant and personal comment. This is what's mainly generated or designed to get replies. It's a clear opt-out as well at the end, which people go, okay, unsubscribe, or I'm not interested. Thanks for the email, but I'm not interested. It still increases your deliverability because it's raising trust with ESPs, because email sending providers. Because if you're getting responses, it means you're sounding like a human. You write an email to get a response. That's how emailing works. So if ESPs are seeing you writing emails and not getting any responses, they're going to raise a few eyebrows. Follow-up. So this is the second email, basically. I've put a second follow-up email, but basically the second email. It needs to be a much shorter version of the first, keeping it the same level of personalization. And I like to always start with just getting back to you on this, because if you've seen any of my sales videos, I hate saying just following up or circling back. It sounds a lot better when you're saying, I'm just getting back to you, okay? I haven't had the time, but now I do, so I'm just going to get back to you now that I do. So here's an example, just getting back to you on this. CFC is pushing the limits of cyber insurance with your tech stack, but what if your prospecting was just as smart? I recently built it for a similar insurance company, and they now own the setup fully, run it whenever they want, and they consistently bring in high-value leads without any manual chasing. And here's a follow-up PS. Again, this is a bit more cheeky if you don't land 20 investor calls. So it's a promise, but it's also mixed in with a joke. I'll personally eat my keyboard. And the subject line as well, really important. It's going to actually drive so many more opens. You're also generating a short, personalized subject line that sparks curiosity. It should be relevant. So based on their background, experience or company, feel like it's written for them, make only sense to them, be subtle and human, don't mention any sale thing, like don't sell anything in a subject line, avoid marketing or transactional language, and keep it quite short. You don't want a really long subject line. And then really important style rules. So keep it real, no fluff, no filler, no salesy language. Oh, that made me feel sick. I don't know what you lot are thinking. No question marks. In the personalization block, use plain language, vary sentence length, and always output in clean, valid JSON, no backticks or markdown. Match the voice, be cheeky but not try hard, warm but not fluffy, casual and confident like you're DMing someone smart on LinkedIn, curious and observant. And then I hate these as well. And do you know what I'm going to add to that? Small feet. I fucking hate that. Never use phrases that sound like a LinkedIn endorsement or resume recap. You're not a job interviewer. Use specific company names, projects, or industry quirks to create a sense of I actually look you up. Make the reader feel seen, not sold to. Include the phrase yes, I've done my research, where appropriate in the icebreaker. It's part of the brand voice. And now go and write the email. And then I give it a bunch of examples. So exactly what it will get in the input and then what I'd expect in the output. So I do it in the output I'd want it. So if you look at the structured output parser, which I haven't actually changed yet, this will be like this. It'll be icebreaker, string, then it'll be, what was the next one? Postscript. And you're going to put string. Then the next one will be, was it follow-up email or follow-up, something like that? But you get the gist. You just basically go down what it says in here or what you've asked for. So you've asked for postscript, right? Follow-up, which is like this. So you'll put it like that, follow-up. Same with follow-up PS. You get the gist and you stick it in like that. In fact, I best do it if we're going to run it. Follow up. I feel a bit sick. String, comma. Then I think it's follow-up PS. Was it that? I don't know. We'll soon find out. String. And last but not least was subject line, wasn't it? String. And that's it. I just need to check the follow-up PS and just make sure it was like that. Yeah, I think so. That's it. Cool. And that's pretty much it. Look, we've created the thing. So we've done the search on Appify. We're going to click that and it's going to get the data set. Not data set ID. It's going to get the data set. Then we're going to verify the emails. Then we're going to research the prospects. And then we're going to do this. And then we can either add it into a Google Sheets, which I'd recommend just so you can make sure that you're happy with the output, especially during testing. And then after that, we're actually going to add them into a campaign, aren't we? So we'll go lead maybe or email. No. Campaign. No. Lead. Create lead. And we'll copy that. And we'll go into here. No, we won't. We'll go into here. Let's delete that. We'll go into here and we'll add a HTTP and we will select it as a post and we'll copy and paste the URL and then we'll send it ahead. Set it and we'll do authorization. Bearer, and it's the same as this one here. So let's just copy that. I'm pretty hungry. What you got for dinner tonight? Let me know in the comments. I'm just gonna have some yogurt and fruit and some nuts. I had some pork steaks on the barbecue earlier. It's delicious. All I do is I eat one steak a day, a ribeye. But I actually had a pork steak today instead. Anyway, you're gonna put the campaign, the email, the personalization. You're gonna put custom variables in. I've actually put this in my community, so bear with me. Yes, Joe. Easy. Yes, David. Easy. Right, where are we? Here it is. I've put it here. Cool. So let's copy that into here. Send body. Use JSON and send it like so. And you're just going to map everything in. Obviously, you're going to put the campaign in yourself. Or obviously, if you are doing the app, again, as I'll show you here, as you would be when you're doing it for a client, you'll put the campaign ID in here so that people at least know, or at least you know, or the system knows where the leads are ending up. So they'll put the campaign ID in there, and that'll actually map all the way through into here, and you'd map it in there. And then the emails would come from the past ones, etc., etc. But I've got got it here if you just want to copy that. Instead of the custom variables being that, it would obviously icebreaker is the same as personalization. So if personalization is in there, which it is, that's fine. You'd map the icebreaker into there. In here, you'd put post script, which we already have. You'd do postscript, you'd do follow up. Whoopsie. And you'll just map it all in. You'll write this in, you'll map it all in, bish, bash, bosh, happy days. Run that, and it will add the leads one by one into the system. Now, if we were to do this into Anthropic, oh my God, I'm getting fucking about 4 leads. I must have had more. I must have clicked on it. I've had about 5 or 6 leads since doing this video. And you're going to tell me that hyper personalization, that my system's crap. Are you going to sit there and tell me my system's crap? Honestly. What was I doing? Yeah, so you basically put this all in there that I've just done, the system prompt and everything. You then pass the JSON because there's no option within there to pass it, and you just do the text response, and then easy as you'd go instantly add a lead to a campaign. And then this one's really easy, a lot easier than NA10. These are the custom variables that you'd put in. So for example, post script, and then you do it from the JSON module that would come up here. The same with all this, the email, the campaign ID, you can literally pick the email, first name, last name, company name, really easy. So it's a lot easier to build and probably a lot quicker as well in make.com. But I thought I'd just show you each one. Now, there's the finished one in make.com. There's the finished one in NA10. Now, obviously, there's going to be a few changes when you're delivering this to a client because you want everything to run seamlessly. You'd want that front end app. I've talked enough about it. I think I've done 3 videos spanning months back talking about that app. So if you want to have a look at them, I've got 3 or 4 videos on it if you want to check that out. But yeah, like I said before, what you do is have a webhook module here to get the data from the webhook. Then you'd run the task by mapping in the campaign, the URL. You'd probably also have a data store module here as well, just so you can store like the campaign ID and anything else that you need in this scenario here, because that will run. And then once the scraping's finished, this will run. You'll verify the email, research, write the email, and add it to instantly. But obviously you need the campaign ID, which you could just map like this, have a data store module here, so it's only using one operation, and you'll just map in the campaign ID from the data store earlier. Honestly, it's mental. 20 people replying within the space of this video. Anyway, so yeah, that's the system. Simple, scalable, and honestly, one of the easiest ways to actually land high ticket clients. If you found this helpful or even smiled at my stupidity slightly during this video, then drop me a like. I'll know that no one smiled, wants to get no likes. Drop me a comment. If you have any questions, I'm more than happy to help you out and help you out in the comments. Let me know your biggest takeaway as well, what you've actually thought about this. If you think it's crap or what, if you think it's really good, happy to hear either or. And if you want to learn not just about building these systems, but actually selling these systems, then make sure you subscribe, because I post a few sales calls, sales tips, masterclasses, stuff like that can help you actually get the clients over the line, because we all know we can build them, but what about actually making a client aware of how valuable this would be to their business? No guru fluff, no nonsense. just what's working for me right now and countless others now in my school community. So I appreciate you watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.